concentrate with her lead jammer.
Well, Catherine Shaw did start to take off McGuire. McGuire being a much more experienced skater, a much better skater. Well, no, I shouldn't say better, but she does have a lot more experience. Just outsmarted her, got past her, and done paying attention to Weston. Just got stuck standing there.
Jammers out and moving on the play. Peanuts, Meyer, and Surbagolia for the Bombers. Dornenberg with double dirty block. Dumped by Fragolia. Fragolia goes down, and Meyer's in the lead. Peanuts, Meyer, 37, moving out all by herself now. Bombers have the only jammer on the play. Number 37, Peanuts, Meyer. She's closing in on the rear of the pack now. As they circle around, it's going to be Sandy Dunn back to do the blocking for the Chiefs at the rear. Dunn back to do the blocking, back behind the pack, comes in, elbow block, forearm block, back into Meyer, slows her down again. Dornenberg sent back to do the blocking again. Dunn preventing Weston from dropping back to assist as the elbows continue to fly into Meyer. She tries to score for the Bombers again, stop. Good blocking action remains at the rear. Meyer with another offensive effort, looking for a helmet from the infield, makes another bid to the outside. Again hit back by Dornenberg. Dunn back with a block. Skater put down Peanuts, Meyer. And no score. Weston hit by Dunn after the play.
Weston was between Dunn and the official, and Dunn just let a little fist fly into Weston's side there and knocked her down. I think knocked the wind out of her, Dunn. I think we're going to get a replay on this right now.
Here's the action, Nick. Peanuts, Meyer being belted back by Dornenberg. Slammed into that rail, losing her helmet. I think she was looking for a little bit of assistance here. And right now, Dornenberg sets her up. Dunn is going to spin around right back there.
Right on the outside of the track. Now watch Weston come up here. Dunn sneaks one in on her. And the referee was between Dunn and Weston, didn't see it.
It was just too tough to catch. I think you had skaters there that had the official blocked. He was at the high point of the track trying to come up anyway.
Yep.
1 minute, 38 seconds remaining here in the third period. The score, the Chiefs 10, the Bay Bombers 8. A minute 30 now. The pack being reorganized. Jammers switching off. Blockers will be in the middle, and they're waiting on the Chiefs to get a blocker up into that pack. Powerful Chief team, Nick. Just tremendous talent out there.
Yeah, super
Dunn going to work on Joni Weston. Sandy Dunn going to work on Weston at the rear. Moser up to the rail. Jammer breaks out. Barbara Baker on the play. We'll have to sort of keep an eye on Dunn and Weston as they move along in that pack, too. There's no hard feelings lost between them, and Dunn is waving Weston up as the Jammers continue. 43. Sandy Dornenberg in with a key block, puts down the Bomber Jammer, who is Barbara Baker. Joni Weston dropping back to do the defensive work for the Bay Bombers at the rear. Jammer comes up to the outside, belted back. Dunn hit forward by Weston. Dornenberg, elbow block, stop from scoring again. Bomber Jammer coming up. Barbara Baker put into the rail. Dornenberg again tries to score. Weston drives Dunn forward. Hits back on Dornenberg. Double duty blocking by Weston. Skater belted again in that back. Weston again an elbow block to the outside. Again, Baker moves up for the Bay Bombers. Dornenberg hits her back. Weston sent waiting. Dornenberg moves in. Again, an elbow block. Dunn missing the key assist right there. Dornenberg down.
I think she cut that jam off before she went down, Don.
There was one Bay Bomber point scored on the play. One Bay Bombers point scored on a holding penalty on Sandy Dunn. So the score at the end of the third skating period will be the Chiefs 10 and the Bombers 9. Don Drury, Nick Scope is calling the action from Kezar Pavilion. We're in the fourth skating period of this game between the Chiefs and the Bombers. The Chiefs lead by 1, 10-9 over the Bombers. Cliff Butler breaking out of the pack as the men take over in this fourth skating period.
Guess who's after him, Donald?
Johnny Rice coming out. These two have started off right from the first jam they were on together. 1-1 on the play. Butler with the lead on that jam. Johnny Rice right behind him, following step for step, stride for stride. Apparently not wanting to make a move. Now makes a bid to the inside. Rice misses, and Butler moves out of the way and takes off on the jam. That's the man who can score. He's already moving into scoring contention. 36, Cliff Butler, JoJo Stafford back to do the blocking for the Chiefs at the rear of the pack. No move as yet by Butler, looking for the right opportunity. Joe Perez breaking late. He's a long way back. That's the guy that can score. 36 right now. Johnny Rice sent back to do the blocking for the Chiefs. Grohl driving back to try and stop the Chief Jammer. Jammer coming up, trying to fight his way around the outside. Butler makes a move high. Perez stopped by Grohl, down the straightaway. Butler again, yet to make a move, and Rice wants him to move up there. Grohl inside. The jam called off. The jam called off. There was one Bay Bomber point picked up. Good assist by Bill Grohl, and Butler hanging in there waiting for that help.
I think what's happened now, Don, is I think Johnny Rice is just so conscious of Cliff Butler, he just won't take his eyes off. Oh, they got a little thing going there. And John Rice wound up over the rail, by the way, after that block by Grohl. Grohl really plowed into him, put him over the top of the rail. He's out in the stands about the 3rd row.
I don't think he even saw him coming. He just drove from out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is that Rice is just paying attention to Cliff, and Cliff's playing it cool, just hanging back a little bit. When Cliff knew that Grohl was coming, John was the only one in the building, didn't know it.
Score tied, 10-all.
He almost needed a road map to come back to the track.
He was out there quite a ways. Jammers out and moving on the play. Chiefs have the first Jammers out. They have 2 on the move. Gammon coming out. O'Connell reaching back. There's a whip. Tony Roman coming up. Gammon has been put down. The Chief Jammers move up, and look at this Roman fly. Roman going out in the turn, slipping. And now the Chiefs have the only scoring threat out. They have a double scoring threat. Bill Grohl is going to have his work cut out. He's hit by Foster, put down. Foster back to lead the way, gives a whip. Both of the Chief Jammers making another drive. Coming up, double block by O'Connell and Orozco. Ray is stopped. Littles tries to fight his way through. Still trying to fight the way in there are the Chief Jammers. Again, that double block holding up. Bomber Jammer coming up, takedown in the pack. Roman is up, but not sure if he has the lead on that Jammer, if it's Gammon that's out there with him. Must be Gammon. Foster coming back with a block. The jam is still going. Grohl sitting waiting at the rear. Comes back in with another key block. Here comes Littles. Check to the rail. And time on the jam runs out.
2 Chief points scored on that jam, Don. They got Grohl out of the way with both Littles and Alfonso Reyes going through for the point. Gammon almost made a great play coming through there, but the Chief defense just closed up on him, bottled him up back there, and he couldn't get through. But it was almost a super play by Gammon. But so far, the Chiefs have been showing some good jamming strength, and they've been playing pretty heads up in the pack as far as their blocking's been concerned.
Well, I think, Nick, that's what is going to carry the Chief team. The Chief team has 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here's Alfonso Reyes in there talking about that last one. They almost got their signals crossed.
Approximately 5 great jammers out on that Chief team. Blocking going on at the rear. Good blocking. Butler, ooh, he nailed Rice there. And the jammers are still coming. All right, 32. Chris Rowe is the lead jammer. The play is in progress. 43, the action coming up. Here they are. They're moving into scoring position. Skater is still down, comes back with a block to the outside. Rowe picked off. Orozco doing the blocking for the Bombers. And the jam is being stopped by the officials. The jam is being stopped by the officials. They've got a skater down, shaken up.
That's Rice. He's still down. He got hit with one heck of a jump block by Cliff Butler, but we didn't pick up all the action. They started way back on the other side of the track. Maybe we can pick it up again now on the replay, Don.
Well, we'll go back and check this in just a second. Here it comes. There was the key block right there, as you saw Butler driving Rice right into the rail.
Boy, you ain't lying.
And there's Johnny Rice shaking up down on the Chief bench. He's being talked to by a couple of his teammates.
Boy, he looked like he got knocked into tomorrow. That's how hard he got hit, man. Then hitting that rail across his chest. It's miraculous he could get up.
6 minutes and 37 seconds remaining here in the 4th skating period. Again, we remind you, the first half will be following on this special Bomber Network. Tony Roman moving out for the Bay Bombers, and Gammon is on the secondary. He's got 2 Chiefs with him. Gammon is on the secondary. That's where your action is right now. There they are, the 3 skaters up in the front, comes back with a block. Gammon comes in with another one as Roman moves away. Gammon bringing both of those Chiefs back into the pack. Now Roman will attempt to score for the Bay Bombers. He moves on the rear of the pack into scoring position. Joe Foster doing the blocking at the rear. Roman trying to score. Roman, good move to the outside. Elbow block again on the pack. The jammer coming up. An elbow block again hits back. Tony Roman trying to find his way around Joe Foster. Most to the inside, back to the outside. Foster, good key blocks. And Butler comes in with a block. Butler now to lead the way inside. Foster moved out. Roman still trying to fight for points. O'Connell trying to move skaters out of the way. Roman stopped by JoJo Stafford. The jam called off. And the official decision, there was one Bay Bomber point picked up by Tony Roman. It was a good play by him.
It certainly was. It was a fine assist by Cliff Butler. Looks like they're going into a timeout, Donald.
With the score, the Chiefs 12, the Bombers 11. 5 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. And a timeout is being called. Don Drury, Nick Scope is calling the action. We're in the fourth skating period, and here's the action right there. Johnny Rice hard. Elbow blocks in the head of Cliff Butler. There's an elbow block again, thrown back, and Butler has been dumped. Good move by that Chief jammer. The Chiefs lead by 1, 12-11 here in the fourth period of the first half. The Chiefs have the only jammer out, and it will be Cliff Butler back to do the blocking, Nick.
Yeah, like I say, they've been at it all night, Donald. Now Rice got rid of him. Now I don't think he knows what to do with him, but he's got him. Rice coming in at the rear. Go ahead, Donald.
And is not making a move. O'Connell sending Butler back. Here comes Rice down that straightaway. Moves to Butler. Out. Oh, another solid shoulder block thrown back by Butler. Rice shaking up on the play. And the jammer coming up again. The jam called off. The jam called off by Rice. As O'Connell was moving up there, he wanted no part of the play. And I believe there was a penalty on Butler blocking after Rice had cut that jam off.
Yeah, he hit him after the jam was over, and the referees, I think, picked it up again. I think that's what you don't want to do when you got your team out there and you're skating in a hard series like this one looks starting out to be, is you don't want to be shorthanded. You want to get out there. You want to have it 5-on-5. If anything, you want the other team to be down. And so far, the only place that the Chiefs have really let up on themselves is when they've drawn unnecessary penalties, you know, except this time here, it just happened to be the Bombers. They don't want that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to wind up down one man.
12-11.
Hey, you know what?
The Chiefs remain on top. Go ahead, Nick.
I was just thinking about something. I was watching Gammon out there before taking off 2 Chiefs. And this guy's been wearing that yellow and green for so long, you know, it must really be kind of hard to start hitting that jersey around, you know, and they're trying to hit you back.
That's a good point. You sort of caught me off guard with that one. Jammer's going out. Speaking of the devil, number 35, Mike Gammon going out after Alfonso Reyes. We'll give him an opportunity to do it again. I don't know if you look at the jersey or at the player. Gammon, good jump block, takes the lead on the jam. That's how he does it. He didn't see him. He caught him with his hip.
Oh, yeah.
1-1 on the play. Gammon with the lead, making a bid, moves to the outside, stopped by Alan Littles, belted back up along a leg block thrown back by Littles. Gammon again trying to score. Skater put into the rail there. And the jam called off. The official ruling, there were 2 Chief points picked up. Gammon and Littles facing off.
See, this is where I was telling you about Littles earlier. The guy is a very, very strong blocker. He's very agile. Whoa. That looks like Littles and one of the referees are getting a little hot at each other there.
I think he's going to be taking a quick shower if that happens again. The Chiefs have increased their lead, though, Nick. 14-11 over the Bay Bombers. They lead by 3 with 1:50 remaining here in the first half.
They're a surprising team. It doesn't seem that they're scoring that much, but they're getting their punches. Their punches. They're getting their points in bunches, and they're keeping the Bombers down. It looks like the Bomber team is a little bit stronger than they are, but yet they're down by 3 points.
They have all of that offensive effort. I think when the Bomber jammers get tired, they've got the extra men to keep going. They've got 5 great jammers on that team.
Yes, they do.
1 minute, 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. The pack is formed. The whistle sounds. Offensive jammers again work their way from the rear of the pack. For the Chiefs, it is Johnny Rice out and moving on the play, and the Bombers looking to get a jammer out. Off a whip, lift, Butler coming out. Butler coming after Rice. After Rice! 1-1 on the play. Rice has got the lead now. Butler drive to the inside, comes up with a key block, takes the lead, moves back, sidestep. Quick move by Johnny Rice on that play. JoJo Stafford back on the assist for that Chief jammer. Bomber jammer Butler up and moving. He's a long ways back. It'll be Bill Grohl back to do the blocking for the Bay Bombers. Here comes Stafford to lead the way. Drive to the inside. Grohl caught on the inside with a leg block. Another shoulder block. Moves him out of the way. They're still going. Chief Jammer scrambling for points. Bomber Jammer coming up. He'd better look back. Butler, I think, getting in there. Skaters plowing into the rail. The jam called off in time, Nick. The jam called off in time. There was one chief point scored by Johnny Rice with 20 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Well, there was an awful lot of work there for Johnny Rice to pick up that point.
I thought the Bomber Jammer Butler was also going to score when they plowed into that rail. You could hear him smack right in there.
Oh, yeah. I could feel it.
4 seconds remaining here and the clock ticking away. So the score at the end of the first half of this game from Kezar Pavilion. The Chiefs 15, the Bay Bombers 11. We'll be back with an interview directly following this timeout. Hello, I'm Don Drury. I'm standing trackside here at the half of the game between the Chiefs and the Bay Bombers with the score. The Chiefs 15 and the Bay Bombers 11. Alan, you've been very instrumental in moving this Chief into the lead that they have right now, and quite a bit of competition out there against you from the Bombers. I noticed in the end here, Mike Gammon.
Yeah, well, Mike is, he's a great skater, but I think he has a tendency to underestimate me. But I'm coming on to him now, you know, and he realizes it and he gets a little fiery, you know. Yeah. But it's all right, I can handle him.
Well, you've got yourself there, Johnny Rice also. A great offensive team you have.
Oh, yeah, everybody's up for this game. I'm really surprised. After not being off for a while, everybody's come back, and they seem to be in great shape, you know.
What do you think going into the second half? Well, let's recap maybe a little bit here in the first half. You had a little incident here with Gammon towards the end. People just getting hot, or is it, did you slip, or I couldn't see the action?
No, Gammon pushed me, but, you know, I want to keep a cool attitude throughout, you know, my working with the Chiefs. I want to just skate the game, skate as best I can. But if he antagonizes me, you know, I'm gonna have to put a stop to it if I can, you know.
I think it's probably about the only way you can go. I want to thank you for joining us, and I know you're tired. You'll probably be hitting the dressing room. Stand by for just a second here. The score again from the floor of Kezar Pavilion at the half. The Bay Bombers trailing by 4. Chiefs 15, Bay Bombers 11. I'm Don Drury for Nick Skopas and myself, and of course the hosting Bay Bombers. Thank you for joining us. International Roller Skating League presents Bank Track Skating Competition from Kezar Pavilion in the heart of Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, California. Today, it's the San Francisco Bay Bombers versus the Chiefs. This game has been pre-recorded for syndication and showing at a more convenient time. Any use, retransmission, reproduction, or other description of this broadcast without the express written permission of the International Roller Skating League and/or its associates is strictly prohibited. Announcers for this broadcast have been hired by the International Roller Skating League and are in no way affiliated with the station on which you are watching this program. Hello, I'm Don Drury. Along with me today, Nick Skopas. We'll be calling your play-by-play action. But first, Nick, let's take a look at a couple of the great stars we'll be watching in competition today.
All right, Don, here's JoJo Stafford. Now, this guy's got to be one of my favorite skaters. He skated with me for about 8 or 9 years. And this was my backup man. He did it all for me. I used to put him in as a pivot, wearing a pivot helmet, jamming, blocking. the guy can do almost anything on the track. And he's a good friend of mine, too. I'm really glad to see he's got a good shot with the Chiefs here. I see they got him sitting there with a pivot helmet on. I guess they're getting ready for something with him. The other guy I think they have is Alfonso Reyes coming up here. Now, this guy had his own team for a while back, I guess in the early 60s or middle 60s, I believe, Don. He was a little bit lighter then. He was a good jammer. He's a very, very strong blocker. The only bad part about Alfonso is once in a while he gets a little carried away with himself. He lets his temper get the best of him. And you can't score from a penalty box, but otherwise he's a good man to have on your team.
Well, Nick, those are some of the skaters we'll be watching in competition today. When we return with the women already in action, right after we take this brief word. Don Drury, Nick Scopus calling the play-by-play action for today's game. From Kezar Pavilion, it's the Bombers and the Chiefs in competition. The women are in the 5th skating period with the score. The Chiefs 18, the Bay Bombers 11. A full 7-point lead, 6 minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the 5th skating period. Jammers out and moving on the play. Number 42 is the great Jerry Murray. Number 37, Carol Peanuts-Meyer, and number 43, Sandy Dornenberg. A double block in there by the Chiefs, and the Bomber jammer has been eliminated on this play. Joan Weston dropping back to do the blocking at the rear of the pack for the Bay Bombers. She's got her work cut out, double duty blocking at the rear. Hits into Dornenberg. Murray tries to fight her way through. She stopped to the outside. Dornenberg comes up. Stop back on the inside. Meyer and McGuire both on a late chase. There's a Bomber picked off in that pack by Sandy Dunn. Dunn in with another block. Bauer hit high. Chief Jammers moving through for points. And the jam called off. They have increased their lead again. There were a total of 4 Chief points on the play. 2 by Dornenberg, 2 by the great Jerry Murray. And Nick, this woman has been around for a long time. I believe we were talking about this in the first half of the game. I think, what is she, maybe 20 some odd years on the bank track? And I don't want to give away her age there.
Well, I know that Ken Monty was on 30 years, and I know Jerry's been around for quite a long time too. But the amazing part about it is that she still has that style that she had when she first came into the game. That she got that easy stride. It just pulls her right around the track. It's very hard to keep up with. It looks like she's not showing any effort at all.
22-11, and this is probably the biggest lead I've ever seen in a game. A full 11-point lead. The Chiefs on top, 22-11 over the Bay Bombers. Just a tremendous offensive team that the Chiefs have. Nothing but jammers. I
know. They're picking their points up in bunches, too, like we said earlier, Don. They're not just picking up 1 or 2. They're coming in there and they're charging on through and picking up 3 and 4 at a time. And that's a strong team that can do that.
The jammers are out and on the play. It is Dolores Holmes, rather. Dolores Holmes dumped by Dolores Tucker of the Bay Bombers. Incidentally, if you're watching in black and white, the Chiefs are in the lighter jerseys, the Bombers in the darker jerseys. Of course, if you're watching in color, the Chiefs are in the gold and green, the Bombers in their familiar brown and orange. Here's the only one that can score. Number 34, Dolores Tucker, moving up into scoring contention. She'll be facing Sandy Dunn, the women's captain of the Chiefs, at the rear of the pack. Yet to make a move. She knows that Dunn's a tough one and a hard one to get around. Tucker backs off, looking for the right opportunity, yet to make a move. Dornenberg caught back in a position where she's going to have to do the blocking now. Weston drops back on the assist for Dolores Tucker, and Weston will lead the way. Joni Weston reaching back. There's a whip coming out of the Bomber turn. Tucker moves up, sidestep. Misses another block thrown by Sandy Dunn. Dunn again off balance up there. Tucker moves up. She's already passed her on this lap though, Nick. She can only pick up 2 points. There were 2 Bay Bomber points scored by Tucker. Again, you're going to get 1 point for each skater you lap and pass. Dunn had been passed on that play. In order for her to score, she would have had to lap her again.
That's right, Don. Great skating effort on the part of Tucker. We used to call her Tilly Tucker, Dolores Tucker. She's one of the shiftiest skaters out there. She can stop on a dime, and you go to throw the block, and she'll give you a 9-second change, go right around you.
I've got to give a little bit of credit to Sandy Dunn on that play, too. Even though she was passed, did you notice how quickly, Nick, she moved right back up there to try and stop that jammer?
Oh, yeah. Well, Sandy's a great skater. Sandy's only problem is her temper, I think. You know, she just gets so carried away with herself, she'll lose control, you know. But other than that, she's a fine, fine skater. I didn't mean to take anything away from Sandy.
22-13. The Chiefs remain on top, still by 9 points. 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining here in the 5th skating period. Pack is being reorganized. Pivot skaters are at the front, blockers in the middle, the jammers are at the rear. The jammers are your offensive skaters. They work their way from the rear of the pack when the whistle sounds, once they get out in front, as is happening right now, they wear the striped helmets. 60 seconds starts to tick away. For each opposing skater they lap and pass, within that 60 seconds, they pick up 1 point. It's Jerry Murray moving on again for the Chiefs, along with number 48, I believe that'd be Catherine Shaw out there on that play. Or no, correction, it's Terry Lewis. Terry Lewis for the Chiefs. Phoenix Meyer out number 2-1, places her hands on her hips, but she does not have the lead. It's the only way that the lead jammer can cut the play off is by placing their hands on their hips. But again, you have to be directly in front of all of those skaters. And Murray and the rookie Terry Lewis, whoa, good move in there by Phoenix Meyer, prevented from getting that lead. Now the Bombers going to work on the Chiefs in the back. Weston going back to Dunn. Here comes Meyer inside. Jam called off. Tremendous effort there by Phoenix Meyer. There were 3 Bay Bomber points picked up on the play.
That was super skating on Meyer's part, especially being outnumbered 2-1 like that. It's very tough when you're outnumbered like that, especially when you get into there's Murray. Temper's flaring a little bit there.
I don't think she cares for the youngster passing her up.
Well, I'll tell you what, where Murray was on the track, she had the longest way around, and there wasn't any youngsters passing her.
Skaters coming up in that turn. Ooh, Dunn dropping Weston after Weston had dropped Dornenberg, and they're facing off. Dunn and Weston facing off. There'll be some penalties called out here. And Murray's temper's still flying. I wouldn't want to be an official right now, Nick.
No, but I think they're handling the game very, very well, Don. It could really get out of hand if they weren't up there.
We don't have too much time to see a replay. There's only 25 seconds remaining here in the period, Nick.
Yeah.
22-16. The Chiefs, we wanted to take another look at this, but we're just not going to have time as the period is running out. 14 seconds on the clock. However, the Chief lead has been cut down to 6 points, 22-16, and that's the way they're going to go out in this period. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. And the period is expiring. 22-16 at the end of the 5th skating period. Right after these commercial words, we'll be back joining the men in the 6th skating period. Don Drury, Nick Scopis calling the action. We're in the 6th skating period of this game, coming your way from Kezar Pavilion between the Bombers and the Chiefs. A great offensive Chief lineup here. And the Chiefs have Joe Perez moving out with Chris Rowe. Rowe caught with a hard elbow block. Rowe scrambling back up with the lead. Butler comes in with a block on the secondary jammer, and Joe Perez has been dumped on the lead part of this jam. He's back up and already scrambling after Chris Rowe. The jammer moving into scoring position is number 32, Chris Rowe. He's going to try and score over 47, Johnny Rice. Cliff Butler back doing the blocking for the Bombers. Both of these men can score at the same time. There they are, all 4 skaters in position right now. Rowe makes a move to the outside, hit back, and Butler pounding some hard blocks in back there as well. Those are the good shots coming up. Butler just a strong skater. Both, good leg block into Perez, another one, and Perez is down. Rice tripping over the top, look at his man recover. Butler with a block. Rice scrambles to the inside. The jam called off. There was 1 Bay Bomber point. What a tremendous effort on that, Nick. Tremendous play out there.
All the way around, even though Johnny Rice was passed on that play, he tripped over his fallen skater. But you know what I wanted you to notice, Don, was at the beginning of the play, Joe Perez got knocked down, and Perez was coming in. Perez got up and put the pressure on the Bombers to where Cliff Butler couldn't help Chris Rowe in. You know, he had to come back and pick up